Hi everyone. I've had loads of people ask me about these vertical bottles that I've been planting. One of the main concerns was the substrate falling, and I'm going to make a short video today with these small bottles showing you how I make them. So first things first, we need to get the substrate in place. I use a mixture, I won't go on about it, but it's just coir, vermicast, sphagnum moss and lava rock. For a detailed explanation, if you click this, the story highlights, you'll find it there under substrate. Now, I'm using a bottle. It's usually better to use a rectangular bottle, or for the reason being that to keep the substrate in place, the moss needs to be packed in tight. And if we have a curved glass, then the moss doesn't really have much to push up against. Whereas in a rectangular bottle, it can push really tightly up against the walls, which is what stops the substrate falling. So I'm going to start by putting this in. Now this can take a while because it has such a small opening, and we don't need a lot. One of the most handy tools I use is a chopstick. I'm not really one for fancy terrarium tools. Actually, all I tend to use are scissors, long-handled scissors with a slight curve on them. These tweezers, which are sold in the aquarium trade, they're really good quality ones. There's no point skimping on the tweezers. And a large piece of wire. Now this wire is fantastic because in some bottles you cannot get into certain corners where with a bendy piece of wire you can get in around that corner to pat things down. So I've learnt that a piece of thick wire is really helpful. Now back to the bottle. We keep things horizontal while we're planting them, because that also stops the substrate from moving. And the moss I'm going to use, pretty much the only moss I use, is the Terrarium glaucum moss. If you'd like to get some of that, it's sold. It can be bought online, but I tend to get mine from a local florist. It comes in on a tray, and it's usually about between 10 to 15 pounds a tray. That is my favourite type of moss to use because it's so versatile. Now, I don't know if you can see, hopefully you can see, but that's about the amount of substrate I'm putting in. And now I'm going to be, I usually use a piece of blue tack to keep things steady, to stop things rolling, but I forgot to get that. So, the moss. This Terrarium moss, as I just said, it's my favourite type of moss to use. It's just so versatile. I use it in practically every single terrarium I build. And, 9 times out of 10 there are no issues with it. It's so easy to care for. A simple spray every few weeks or so, if it's a sealed terrarium, tends to be enough. Now, I put this in little bits because we have such a small opening. Trying to cram too much at one go always ends badly. So I tend to take little pieces, about so big, about that big, and I trim it down. So this white bit here is the rhizoid, and we're going to trim most of that off, about there. And using these tweezers, I may even break that into half to put that in. But using these tweezers, I'll place that in. Now this happens quite frequently, but I have to use the chopstick to remove the moss from the tweezers and try to use as clear a bottle as possible. This probably wasn't the best bottle to use. It's got It's not 100% transparent. It will still look great, but if you can, a completely clear bottle, like one of these behind me, is best. I've run out of these bottles, so which is why I'm using these smaller ones. But as you can see, it's completely clear. You can see into it, and so far so good. The moss hasn't fallen. The cuttings haven't fallen. Okay. Now the key to this is to pack the moss in tight. You will use a lot more moss than you think. So I've got all of this and that little piece there. I will probably use that and some on such a small bottle. So it is important to have enough moss. And this is the time-consuming part. This is what takes the most time. But it's important to get this step right. If you don't get this step right, as soon as you put that bottle up right, it's just going to fall, which obviously we do not want. And take your time with it, because trying to rush something like this is just going to ruin the final result. So take your time, set aside an hour or two. I've got it down, with these larger bottles, I've got it down to about an hour, but that's with a lot of practice. And regarding plant choice, I've chosen plants that are creepers. I've chosen this ficus. Now I know this is Ficus thunbergii, that's the proper name for it. It's also known as oakleaf ficus or Ficus quercifolia. I know this is Ficus thunbergii because I'm part of a ficus study group on Facebook led by a man called Jerry Meislich, and Jerry Meislich is the god of the ficus genus. He's written numerous books about the genus Ficus, and he really is the go-to man when it comes to anything to do with the ficus. So if you are interested in that, he's written a series of books which are available online, or if you're on Facebook, they're extremely generous with their knowledge, and I've learned a lot from that group. They're very welcoming, and any questions I have regarding ficus, that's my first port of call. So they're just known as Ficus Study Group on Facebook, and I recommend you join. The other plants I've chosen, there's this miniature ivy. I love this plant. I bought a plant a few years ago and it's just been sat in my garden, slowly growing. It grows much slower than its sort of larger counterpart, but I've realised that this works really well in terrariums. It's slow growing, which is always good. I believe it's Hedera helix minata, though I can't remember off the top of my head, but that's a really good plant. I believe Bluebow Nurseries sell it in Ashby de la Zouche. You can order them online. Another one of my go-to plants is Peperomia prostrata. Can you see that? Is that in focus? This is one of my favourite plants, often sold as a trailing plant in garden centres. It performs brilliantly epiphytically. It doesn't need soil. I rest this on top of the moss and it does so well. So that's another plant I recommend getting, and it's not as rare as they say. You can order them online. Now back to the moss. Remember, it's really important to go slowly and to really compact that moss in. So after each piece, I'm using this chopstick to really push that in, and you'll see just how much moss you can cram into a little bottle like this. It's quite impressive, really. The idea isn't to get it perfect. That's not the idea. It's never going to be perfect, and I think that it's important to accept that. But we can get it, we can cram that in nice and tight. And these plants, one of the great things about these plants is none of these plants have soil on them. They're almost rootless cuttings. But through trial and error, I figured out that they root readily in the humid environment. They don't need any soil. There is soil in there, so eventually the roots will find their way into it. But they don't need to start in soil like many other plants. Excuse me. and I rarely have them fail. I favour using cuttings when I'm making terrariums because they stay small. Smaller for longer, I should say. They stay smaller for longer. While they establish a root system, the cuttings stay small, and it takes longer for them to establish. So they, like I said, they stay smaller for longer, and I think that's a really good thing when you're making terrariums, because there can be nothing. It's just what happens with plants. You can plant something in like baby's tears, and it's small, but once that establishes, that very quickly takes over, which, you know, isn't always a bad thing. And I think with terrariums, it is really important to accept that they change. They don't stay the same. Now, actually, this hasn't taken quite as long. I'm nearly there. But that substrate, which was quite loose, is now staying in place as I hold it vertically. And that's purely because the moss is packed in so tightly that the substrate can't actually move. Now, the plants actually like that they can root into the moss. The moss actually, it seems to be quite a good medium for plants to root into. It's very airy and it stays fairly moist, and the plants really do seem to thrive in there. In a moment, I'll show you some of these other vertical bottles I've planted. Along with the globes, they're my favourite, and it just started off as an experiment a few weeks back. I'm not really one for using lots of hardscape materials or using silicone to glue things into place. So I think I was laying in bed and I was just thinking about, you know, how can this substrate stay in place? How can I make that work? And just by compacting that moss in, it achieves the same result as using silicone, and you don't have to use the silicone, which is always a good thing. I don't know if you've ever used that aquarium grade silicone, but it stinks. Right, we're probably about 75% done there. I'll just finish this little bit off. It's important to leave a bit of a gap near the bottle opening. Okay, so this isn't far from being, well, I'm not far from completing the moss stage. Just a few more pieces to push in. If your bottle starts to cloud up and it becomes difficult to see inside, what I do is a piece of kitchen roll. You may have to alter the size of it, but grips with my tweezers. Push it in, just to clear that bit of glass so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, beautiful. Important to pack that moss in tight, or else you're going to end up with everything at the bottom of the bottle when you place it upright. Okay, so now most of the moss is in place. What I use is this chopstick, and I really press that down so it's sort of pushed into the substrate. Now this little bit here, just as it widens into the bottle, I leave that bit open. Sorry, not planted with moss, because I need to get my tweezers in there with the plants, and if there's moss there, it just moves, and that's the final step, is to plug that little bit with moss. As you can see, it stays upright. It looks pretty good as it is, but I'm going to keep this really simple. I think I might just plant it with the miniature ivy, and I'll take a proper photo of it afterwards and upload that. What I sometimes do is use a tiny speck of glass cleaner onto the kitchen towel or the kitchen roll, just to clean the inside of the glass before I take a photo. You can have a beautifully planted terrarium, but if your glass isn't clean, going to look bad. Plug that final bit in with a bit of moss. The goal for me wasn't to get this perfect. What gave me the sort of inspiration for this was back in May I took the dogs for a walk, and I noticed that I live near a canal, and there are lots of bridges, and on these bridges ferns would grow almost epiphytically. We don't associate epiphytes in the UK. I can't really think of any examples, but these ferns were growing, which I suppose they're technically growing epiphytically within the cracks of the cement over the curve of the bridge. And that's kind of what made me thought, you know, I could probably make something similar in a bottle. And a few months later, I got the first one done, and it was quite popular online. And since then, I've made about 5 or 6, and they've very quickly become my favourite sort of terrarium to make. And lots of people have messaged me asking how I do it, but the most common question was how does the substrate not fall? And as you can see, by using this method, it's pretty good. I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect, but it's pretty good, and I've not had any of the plants I put in there fall. As soon as they establish a root system, it will secure it even more. So it'd be really good if you guys had a go and uploaded some. Now, this isn't perfect, but there we have it. Miniature ivy growing vertically in a tiny bottle. With regards to watering, as always, I use a spray bottle. I don't have it to hand, but I use a spray bottle, and very carefully I would spray it on the top bit, on that top curve, so it falls down. I will put a cork in this, but as always, I will take the cork out once every few days to allow some airflow in so things don't become stagnant. And there you go. Have a go, make your own. Tag me in the photos, drop me a message if you have any questions. And yeah, I'd love to see you guys, what you guys create. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.